Wiosną 2009 roku wróciłem do Poznania. W kraju nie było mnie 7 lat. Byłem w Stanach. W Polsce bardzo dużo w tym czasie się zmieniło. To już nie było to samo miejsce. Szalone lata 90. dzikiego kapitalizmu już dawno minęły. Wstąpiliśmy do Unii Europejskiej oraz do NATO. Zmiany było widać na każdym kroku. Wracałem do innej Polski. Targały mną rozmaite emocje. Z jednej strony chciałem spotkać tę starą Polskę, z którą się pożegnałem 7 lat wcześniej. Z drugiej jednak liczyłem, że będzie to już inne miejsce. Byłem jak patyk, który wlatuje do rzeki. Ta rzeka to Polska, patyk to ja. Wiecie, o co chodzi. Na obczyźnie dużo widziałem i wracałem z bogatym bagażem doświadczeń. Na co liczyłem wracając? Że będzie inaczej niż przed wyjazdem? Że teraz Polska już będzie murowana, a nie drewniana? Że będzie lepiej? Lepiej niż w Stanach, czy lepiej niż w tej mojej poprzedniej Polsce? Nie wiem. Pewno jest jedno. Wracałem pełen nadziei. Nadziei na w sumie nie wiem co. Ale to nie będzie film o mnie. Spokojnie. Zamiast tego chciałbym wam pokazać ludzi, a spotkałem ich i wciąż spotykam w specjalnym dla mnie miejscu. To między innymi ci ludzie sprawili, że mój powrót do kraju okazał się dobrą decyzją. A jacy to ludzie? Jednym słowem, różni. I to jest w tym najlepsze. Pochodzą z wielu zakątków świata. Są w różnym wieku. Mówią różnymi językami. Mieszkając w Stanach na co dzień widywałem i przyjaźniłem się z ludźmi z całego świata. Po powrocie zapragnąłem tego samego. Tym razem zatęskniłem za tym, co zostawiłem w Stanach. W pewien sposób wciąż chciałem żyć tak jak na emigracji. To jak mnie przyjęliście właśnie tym filmem, chciałem wam za to z głębi mojego serca podziękować. Proszę państwa, przed wami opowieść o ludziach, którzy spotykają się co tydzień w Poznaniu w tym samym miejscu. Pochodzą z różnych zakątków globu. Łączy ich życzliwość, często przyjaźń, wzajemny szacunek, ale przede wszystkim uśmiech.
Hi, I'm Michael. Or, hi, my name is Michael. So this meeting started in 2000, it's a long time ago, 2010. There was a post made on Facebook where they mentioned someone from Ukraine, a girl called Irina, posted that she wanted to organize a meeting here at a place called Shark that used to be in the old market square at Poznan, maybe it's still there. And a few people came. There was some different people. They came maybe like 6 or 8. I remember a couple of Polish girls, there was an American guy, a few others. And these were really the start or the beginning of the couchsurfing and language exchange meetings in Poznan. In the beginning, there was really a core of people, because we used to have these meetings for foreigners in Poznan. These were for once a month in a pub called Van Gogh in a basement. But we never called this language exchange, we never called this couchsurfing. These were just a foreigners meeting. And back then, there was very few foreigners in Poznan. So there were a group of people, like including Pavel, including Sonia. And then we also met a guy called Chris Pedersen, who owned a restaurant called Kuchnia Krysa. And he suggested that as he was already organizing German meeting there, that we should start meeting regularly every week in this one place, this Kuchnia Krysa. It was a clean place, it's a safe place to come. And Chris really put a lot of effort into promoting these meetings. He advertised to people, he spoke to other people about it, he promoted it to the city. Really, I would say he was like the father of language exchange and couchsurfing meetings in the city. I organized things along with Sonia, Pavel, other people, but Chris Patterson was the guy who his enthusiasm for this meetings. His restaurant was really the place where people knew they could come, that he would give you a warm welcome. He was really the guy, you saw him a lot in the streets. He was very enthusiastic about Polish food, about Polish cuisine. He would help anyone. If you need a problem, you could call him. He came from Germany and his parents, I believe, were Danish. He had a Danish passport and he was a chef and he really cared about what he was doing. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago and it was a great shock to everyone. I remember getting a phone call saying, "What's happened to Chris Patterson?" And it's like, "What do you mean, what happened?" He said, "I saw him like 2 nights ago in the street. Like, what's happened?" And no one knew, and everyone was talking like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And it turned out that he had passed away that previous night, and it's still a shock for me. He was well all over the place. I mean, he was on TV, he was very well known in the city. I remember he organised a tour of a culinary tour for some, I think they were Swedish tourists, and they were amazed. He took them to places, restaurants that were not on the list of best restaurants, but these were the places where the food was really genuinely great. And I remember hearing from these Swedish people about, they were amazed. Not only his knowledge and passion for food, but his passion for people, his enthusiasm. Really, he was what you call a celebrity chef, but a very good person.
So I remember 2010 and the couchsurfing meetings in Poznan that were very regular. I remember meeting maybe once per month. And I think we were in need of a leader who would host the regular meetings. And one of the people who I met through one of the meetings was my friend Mike. And he decided to introduce weekly meetings that first took place, if I remember well, in Kuchnia Krista. At least this was where I joined the meetings. And this was a non-existent now restaurant below Teatr Nowy in Dobrskiego Street. And after that, we moved to many other places, for example, Dylemat, Mickiewicza Street, or Tula in the same street. U Wikingów was a small street of Paderewskiego Street near Starynek. And I remember going for many years to Bonoba, which is just right next door, or was right next door to Miasto. I remember I met people from all around the world, not only Europe, but also Latin America and Asia or Africa. And thanks to the meetings, I could learn a lot of important and interesting things about those countries. We met, it was a couchsurfing meeting, not one of the regular ones. I think that time we did have a regular couchsurfing meeting in Poznań. And I think Mike posted on the couchsurfing forum that we were meeting one of the cafes I see nearby, Plaska Street. And I went there with a Spanish friend who was doing Erasmus in my department in university. And this is the area where we met and talked about the future meetings.
Yeah, to go back, Kuchnia Krista was the first Thursday place. This was a place I still think was home in a way, because it was warm, cozy. We had these speed meetings that were really cool.
And yeah, one summer I think it was closed or it was already closed down. And Julius, a Polish American friend, used to organize the summer meetings in the Dylemat pub in Mickiewicza Street, which I think was very nice because that summer we had very good weather. How many places have we been to?
Oh wow, more like in Kite. Okay, we talked about Tula, we Kuchnia Krista, there was the place, what was it called, Estadio on Plac Wolności?
Yeah, but I think I'm maybe there. We didn't meet on Thursday.
No.
On other days.
Saturdays for sure. My birthday was there once. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so not only did we meet on Thursdays, but also on Saturdays or in the other days of the week. And at that time, we tried to meet in other places.
Yeah.
Like I started in Kurilos.
Yeah. This place Kurilos was cool. We had table football, and there were some real battles there. And one of the cool things about this whole thing, I remember this place at the time, beer in Poland was, Warka, Żywiec, Lech, forget it. And this place had all these different beers, and they were like all these cool words like "Pastonowady." In the summer months, we went to a place called Bada Wilda in the Wilda district. And back then, Wilda was, you could say, it's a very rough neighborhood. It was very run down. There weren't many pubs or restaurants. Now it was completely different. But back then, this place was very exotic, you can say. But they had an outdoor space, and it was a great outdoor space. It's a big yard, and very often you have meetings there, and maybe there would be 30, 40 people all sitting around, talking, drinking, till quite late at night. Tula was a very interesting place. Tula was a basement bar in the Užice district in Poznan, and how can I explain this? Tula was a basement bar filled with the kind of junk that you imagine to be in someone's grandmother's house. There were no rules in this place, but the most notable, the most famous thing about this place was a DVD player that would only play Phil Collins. No other DVDs would work. We tried them all, we tried different things, nothing. Just the same Phil Collins DVD. So our meetings on a Saturday night would start maybe 7 o'clock with Phil Collins playing, and we would run until maybe 3, 4, sometimes later. I remember being there till 6 in the morning, and Phil Collins would be playing that over and over and over again. Yeah, there's a guy called Adam who was everyone's best friend. He didn't mind you destroying the place. The toilets were terrible. Adam was a part-time football hooligan, but he was also very honest and gentle. He's a gentleman. If he could help you, if you had problems, he would give you his number, he would help you. He was a good character at the time we needed characters. It's quite normal to go there and say, hey, Adam, your phone number doesn't work. He's like, oh, I changed it, I got a new one. Also, his cars, he would have a different car every 3 months. And when you asked him, he would tell you, yeah, I got a new car. And you didn't ask too closely, but he would tell you about it. Right, so this was actually this difference between language exchange and couchsurfing in the beginning because it's very controversial. In Poznan, there was a group of, you could call them old couchsurfers, and they felt they had the right to organize couchsurfing meetings. Some of the people went in these new meetings, they were very enthusiastic, very open. There's one girl called Anya who is still a very good friend today. She was part of this old club. But some others were resentful. They didn't want to have weekly meetings because that's not how things are done in Poznan. They weren't happy. They were really, you could say, quite nasty about it. And there was this division between old and new. However, for me, there was no real difference between this. These were foreigners. They were people that wanted to use their own languages. They wanted to meet together and they wanted to meet every week. So we didn't see much difference between language exchange, couchsurfing. People could come, they could exchange different languages. We encouraged people to speak, Spanish, English, German, whatever they wanted. I remember in the beginning, especially, there was maybe, for instance, 6 or 7 different languages being spoken at one time. And the couchsurfing aspect was also everything. So you could come and meet friendly people, meet people living here. You could come on a Thursday, someone would host you for like Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, so you could get to meet people. So we really tried to bring the best of both couchsurfing and language exchange into this. When I started these meetings, I was a teacher working in the primary school in Poznan as an English teacher. And this was my job during all the time. I had a lot of free time. I mean, my working hours were 20 hours a week in the primary school. So I had a lot of free time to advertise things on Facebook, to promote things. I would say this whole contact with people in the beginning in Poznan, this is what started my career, or started my interest in people. Now I find it quite easy to talk to people from all over the world because I met people, so many people from all over the world. If I meet someone in my job from, say, Brazil, I can talk to them about things I know about Brazil because I met people from Brazil that told me. I've never been to Asia, I've never been to South America, so what I learned from them was really incredible. One thing about these meetings that made it successful was it never belonged to one person. There was this attitude among these so-called old couchsurfers that these meetings had to belong to someone. I always tried to make it clear that these meetings belonged to everyone that took part in them. But there was never one organizer, there was never one, this is the guy who organized it. There was always someone, these were meetings that belonged to everyone. And I think it's very important to give everyone equal credit. It wasn't just me that started the meetings. If no one came to the meetings, then there wouldn't be any meetings because I would sit by myself in a pub. The greatest thing was that people came to these meetings and said, oh, hey, okay, so I came to the meeting, now can we have Spanish meetings? Of course. Can we have, for instance, a German meeting? Of course. Can we have Italian? Of course. So dramas, there have been many dramas. For instance, there was one of the ones that sticks in my mind was a special Halloween party that was held. And the party itself was great, it made people, there was a lot of fun. And then it turned out that someone had stolen from wallets and so on. At the same time, there was a guy from India who was walking around saying that he could beat everyone up, that he was the toughest guy in the place, that no Polish guy was a match for him. Eventually, ended up in a fight outside, the police were called, he broke a window. I actually don't know what happened to him in the night, but I believe he escaped him. I mean, there were many more dramas. There were relationships. As far as I remember, there was one divorce. So many different events have happened. It never been boring in Poznan, you could say. Yeah, I would say there's this spirit, this mentality, this openness was the most important thing. When we started these meetings, Poznan, it was before Euro 2012. No one knew Poznan. It was a city, provincial city. But I would say, based on going elsewhere, these meetings were always much more friendlier to people than others. I can compare to Wrocław. The Couchsurfing meetings in Wrocław are much colder, much more closed. Language exchange meetings there are hugely closed. They're very cliquey, not very nice towards outsiders. They are rude towards outsiders, offensive, you can say. And we were always, even to this day, I see Poznan is different. It's much more open, much more friendly. I would also like to say that all this language exchange part comes from a guy called John Carnegie, who was an American guy living in Kiev in Ukraine. And what he did was he established the idea of a network of language exchange clubs. He imagined this world where people could come to different cities. Every night there would be some language exchange. And he set all this up. He paid a lot of money to organize these things. He hired people in Ukraine to post on Facebook about this. And what made it so special was, at the very beginning, in September 2010, he organized a conference in Ukraine. And at that conference, there were people representing all these cities, so from Kyiv, from Lviv, from Gdansk, from Poznan, Kharkov, so on. And there we had this meeting, this conference for, I think it's 8 days or 9 days. And there we did a lot. We spoke a lot, we discussed a lot, and these people went back to their cities and organized things. And this was crucial. Without that motivation, without that meeting other people from other cities, it also motivated me to carry on.
Kurzenie, kurzenie!
Не, но курение производить. Yeah, smoking causes.
Производить do 999?
And unfortunately, John passed away in 2012, I believe. And it's a great shock. But still, after 11 years, there are still meetings in different cities under this language exchange club banner. And it's all because of his work. And I think he should be mentioned. His contribution has been... I cannot even start to imagine how many marriages, how many relationships, how many friendships, how many things happened all because of this one person. We should probably tell who Gordon is. How to explain Gordon?
And the English who speaks very good Polish.
Yep.
He loves walking. Yeah. He walked all over from England to Poznan and raised the money for charity.
Yeah. 10.5 years ago, there was the 1st of May when Poland the day before the 1st of May, when Poland was due to join the labour market of the European Union and Polish people could work legally in Germany. So we were in Frankfurt Oder with Sonia, Gordon and Pavel, and our friend Anna, who lived there. And we drank a lot of beer, and at midnight, our friend Gordon was the first Polish, although he's not Polish, but first guy to ask for a job in Germany in McDonald's.
6, 5, 4, 3, no 2 minutes! Chicken! We can get a job!
There was a very famous rubber chicken called the Cock. And Gordon's cock was known to everyone. It was the mascot of our community, I guess. And this mask was in people's mouths, in people's, well, everywhere. And everyone knew Gordon's cock. And there's a Facebook fan page called Gordon's Cock, which caused Facebook to say, so-and-so likes Gordon's cock. Our dear friend Pavel found these are great. What was it called? Obiad Abonamento?
Kind of deal.
Yeah, like a dinner subscription, I guess. And Pavel would organize it, and the best thing, cheap beer. The food was actually okay, I remember.
Very traditional and nice, and waiters who take it to the table.
Yeah. And I remember the funny thing being was going there in this huge room, and there was no one there, just us. classic How I Imagined Hotels in 1984 would look like.
A cool title style.
Everything was old-fashioned. The front desk didn't have computers, just cards. The waiter would be dressed looking like 1980. That was a fantastic place.
One more thing to remember that after, well, most of the meetings, we would go to have kebab to the Kebabova alley, which is, I don't know, what's the street here? Otana, I think.
Bielka.
Or Mirka. Yes, but not near the cathedral. And so in that street at the top, I don't know now, it has, or it had a lot of kebab shops. And it was a kind of tradition to go after the meeting or sometimes during the meeting and then come back.
Yeah, but there's this thing, this small glass for every kebab. There was this place called Kebabistan. So we changed it into the independent self-governing Republic of Kebabistan because they give you this small green liquid, which we called the elixir of everlasting youth. No one knows what was in this. It could have been tea, who knows? But for us, it was a special green liquid. And this was tradition to go to this kebab place, Kebabistan, and drink this liquid. Oh, Kuznia. Many stories about Kuznia, I guess. I have no idea how it started. I think someone just started going there just because it was open or there wasn't many people there.
And the others follow.
This was the thing that usually Nuba would be till midnight, 1 o'clock, and then this Kuznia place would be open till, I don't think it had a closing time. I think it's
late morning.
And there was a karaoke bar. I don't remember ever being in Kuznia till the end, so that tells you how late it was open. And there was a place to go and sing karaoke. And our friend Chris would sing Wonderwall, and when he was singing Wonderwall, it was like, okay, time to go home. Banuba was great because upstairs would be at the meeting, but then downstairs were always parties on a Thursday.
Yes, and sometimes we would meet there on Saturdays as well. I remember there was my farewell party there on Saturday when I was in it for Madrid. And what I liked about Banuba was the sofas. It felt homey, cozy.
I think Banuba was an institution as well. I mean, it's one of the first bars I went to here. And it really was a place to go. It used to be really busy, not just Thursday, but other days as well.
Well, we used to meet on Saturday at Stadio, Polios,
But we wanted to get drunk on Saturday, I guess.
But there was dancing, remember? Some of the nights in Banuba downstairs, we had a dance floor ourselves. There was other customers who would come that time, and we had the party as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think my favourite time was this Thursday night having the parties downstairs in Banuba, that you could stay till late. But you could also be upstairs and just meet people. It was really cool.
Zdarzyło się raz, że miałam przyjemność prowadzić quiz. Quiz był pod hasłem traveling i prowadziłam go z kolegą z Brazylii. Chyba 15 pytań. On stworzył 15 ja. Nerwy były ogromne. Po prostu jak przed jakimś bardzo ważnym wystąpieniem. I tak jeszcze było długie. Jak się dowiedziałam o spotkaniach, trafiłam nietypowo poprzez stronę Meetupu. Nie da się ukryć, że przez kilka miesięcy wcześniej planowałam odwiedzić właśnie spotkanie quizowe. Na Meetupie nie było nic wspomnianego o quizie i nie było nic wspomniane o couchsurfingu. Były to spotkania narożników. Zamieniło mnie do wizyty na tych spotkaniach plan podróży takiej długoterminowej do Argentyny. Liczyłam, że spotkałam Argentyńczyka albo Argentynkę, która mi udostępni pakiet informacji takich życiowych, nie które widzę na stronach internetowych czy w poradnikach. I tak trafiłam jeden z czwartków w 2017 roku na spotkanie Unii. Miło było spotkać osobę, która była z innych państw, a ja kilka lat temu spędzałam tam na przykład wakacje. Było miło z nimi porozmawiać, dla mnie powspominać, ale no też bardzo entuzjastycznie podchodzili do takich rozmów i cieszyli się, że ktoś był w ich państwie, w ich mieście, czy sobie nawet się zdarzało. Także to takie urocze chwile, które są wartością dodaną do quizów i jest takie członkowe.
The reason why I started to organize those meetings was that I really wanted to meet some like-minded people from other parts of the world. And so when I came back from the UK in 2011, I started going to some other meetings, and then I recreated those meetings to make it more kind of popular, to gather more people. I've always had a passion for meeting new people and a little bit for learning languages. However, I'm not very good at any other languages apart from Polish and English. But I know that there are people here who speak 4, 5, even 6 languages. So I'm really amazed at the variety of people that come here. And I think this is a really motivation for me to come here every week, to organize an event every week. In the UK, I met so many people from all over the world. I decided, I have to go somewhere. I had to go somewhere and find some new people. Then I went to meetings in Bunuba, next door to Miasto. I met so many people there, and at some point in 2016, I think the meetings were not so popular anymore. Somehow, I don't know why, but I decided to recreate them and put a new perspective and start, kind of gathering more people, make it more popular in Poznań. There are a couple of reasons why I think it's a good idea to come to meetings on Thursday. One of them is that you can meet new people, and I think there are a lot of people here in Poznań that don't know that many people, so they can come here, meet 2, 3, 4, even 10 people during one night and become friends with them. Another reason is meeting people from other countries that speak different languages, so that we are able to practice those languages. We can practice Spanish. There are people from Spain, Mexico, South America. We can practice Italian. There are many Italians coming here, Russian and German. So that is a great advantage of those meetings. And I think this is the biggest international meeting in Poznań. I think, say that. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud that, you can meet people from all over the world here. And I think it's been a wonderful journey from the beginning, when I didn't have that much assurance that it will be a success, until now when I see how many people have met here over the last 5 years, how many couples have been created over the 5 years, and I think this is a good start for me. There have been many obstacles over the last 5 years. I think the biggest obstacle has been the COVID-19 pandemic. So for many months we couldn't organize quiz nights, and that was very unfortunate. I tried to have some quiz online, but that was a completely different thing, and it would never live up to people's expectations. Sometimes, we don't have the same amount of people every Thursday. Sometimes there are more people, sometimes there are fewer people. It depends on many factors. It could be the weather, it could be the time of the year, right? So there are more people in certain times of the year. But generally, we have a pretty good crowd, a pretty good variety. Sometimes maybe people come and say, I would love to meet someone from Argentina, and there's no one from Argentina. So that is some kind of hassle that we cannot meet everyone's expectations. I remember in 2016 when I started organizing quiz international meetings, it was probably summer. At the beginning there were not that many people, and I felt, okay, is this right? Should I organize it or not? I had some doubts in my head, but eventually more and more people started coming, and I felt, okay, this is actually working, and I can gather this international community here. Back then in Bunuba, now in Miasto, and I felt, okay, now it is motivation for me. More and more people started coming, and I felt, okay, I can only improve. And I started, coming up with different ideas, different countries. The more people I met, the more ideas I had.
Jeżeli chodzi o taką śmieszną historię z Miasto Bar i z naszych spotkań czwartkowych, no to jak dla mnie przede wszystkim jest to karaoke. Może nie jestem najlepszą piosenkarką, natomiast zawsze kiedy tutaj przychodzę i nasz ukochany Włoko Mauro grał wraz ze swoim zespołem, zawsze się zarzekałam, że nie będę śpiewać, ponieważ po płycie zawsze było karaoke. No i oczywiście kończyłam w ten sposób, że wyrywałam mikrofon, czy to Mauro, czy komuś innemu. Pamiętam raz Mauro chciał zaśpiewać Red Hot Chili Peppers Californication. Stałam koło niego bardzo podekscytowana i kiedy Mauro wziął mikrofon, ja po prostu go wyrwałam, tak? I zaczęłam śpiewać całą piosenkę sama.
one of the crucial things in organizing meetings like that is having that curiosity and positive energy. And I think this is a very common feature characteristics of many people coming here to Miasto meetings. And I think this is my characteristics as well, that I'm always interested in getting to know other cultures. I'm always interested in people's stories. And I think I also want to show them that, Polish people are quite positive. We have a very different reputation all over the world. I don't know, as drinkers are as quite gloomy people. And I think Polish people coming here to Miasto Bar are a little bit different than the majority of Poles. And we have that very positive attitude here in Miasto Bar. The majority of people, is open-minded, knows at least one foreign language. And I think it's a great advantage, and it's one of the reasons why I have a great feeling coming here and sharing those moments with all these people. You can use meetings here to learn languages. I've seen so many people developing their languages here, meeting people and then practicing those languages here, but also meeting afterwards in different places, doing some language startups as well, so exchanging languages. Let's say someone is from Poland, wants to learn Portuguese, meets a person from Brazil, they meet a couple of times and they do some language exchanges, Portuguese to Polish. So yeah, that is actually one of the aspects why people come here to international meetings in Miasto.
Przychodzę na spotkania czwartkowe przede wszystkim po to, żeby poznawać nowych ludzi, ponieważ tutaj są takie możliwości, żeby poznawać wspaniałych ludzi tak naprawdę z całego świata. Poza tym wiadomo, lepiej wyjść i spędzić czas z przyjaciółmi, ucząc się języka, niż siedzieć w domu i oglądać telewizję samemu, prawda? Ja jestem z Poznania. Dosłownie born and raised here, tak? Całe moje życie mieszkałam w Poznaniu. Jestem prawnikiem generalnie, jestem trochę starsza niż tutaj może przeciętna średnia osób, które przychodzą. Natomiast nie ma to zupełnie znaczenia. Co właśnie uwielbiałam w tych spotkaniach czwartkowych. Nie ma znaczenia, czy ktoś jest studentem i ma 20 lat, czy ma ponad 30 tak jak ja, czy ma ponad 40. Tutaj wszyscy bardzo dobrze się bawimy ze sobą. I przede wszystkim trzymamy się, nawiązujemy jakieś więzi, kontakty. To nie jest tak, że spotykamy się tylko tutaj w czwartek, raz w tygodniu, ale z wieloma osobami mam bardzo dobre kontakty, także spotykamy się poza czwartkami, tak? Bo chodzimy razem do miasta, idziemy razem na kolację. Poznałam tutaj parę najwspanialszych Brazylijczyków, Ariela i Brunek, którzy byli de facto moimi sąsiadami. Tutaj poznałam Barego, Szkota, którego pewnie wszyscy znają, Marko i Kennego, naszego ukochanego barmana. Poznałam wielu Polaków, moją wykochaną Paulinę Stocką, Martę Spradę, już nie wspomnę o Piotrze Szulcu, z którym cały czas się ziopkujemy i mamy bardzo, bardzo dobry kontakt. Abi, kto tam jeszcze? Matko, jest tyle osób po prostu, których... Przepraszam, może nie potrafię teraz wymienić, ale już wiem, dobrze. Cała rzesza Latino, których tutaj poznałam, Adriano, Alberto, oczywiście Pedro 1, Ricardo, Pedro 2, Anna Cristina, moja najkochańsza koleżanka, która jest dużo młodsza ode mnie de facto, ale nie widać tej różnicy, prawda? Nie wyobrażam sobie, w jakim miejscu bym była, gdybym nie zaczęła chodzić na te spotkania, ponieważ dzięki nim poznałam wielu ludzi, z którymi, tak jak mówię, nadal mam kontakt i ci wszyscy ludzie wnieśli tyle jakby radości do mojego życia, prawda? I jestem za to bardzo wdzięczna.
Są to takie dość trwałe przyjaźnie, mnóstwo fajnych osób tu poznałem i widujemy się też poza Miasto Barem oczywiście. Urodziłem się we Włoszech, czerwiec 2019 się przeprowadziłem tutaj i Miasto Bar tak naprawdę to było jedno z pierwszych wydarzeń takich międzynarodowych, na które poszedłem. Znajomy mi powiedział, że jest coś takiego, że jest fajny klimat, fajna atmosfera, że koniecznie wpada w ten czwartek, to mówię, to dobra, to podsłuchałem radę i faktycznie mi się spodobało tutaj. Super ludzie, super atmosfera.
Nie da się ukryć, że czwartkowe spotkanie to poładują mi baterię na cały tydzień. Spotykamy się tutaj, śmiejemy się, wykupiamy. planujemy wspólne kolejne spotkania, nie tylko czwartkowe, ale gdzieś w plenerze, jak na przykład Polska, czy spotkania językowe w Pika czy z Pawła organizowane. Będąc tutaj dzisiaj na spotkanie, uświadomiłam sobie, że ta przygoda trwa 5 lat i spotkałam tak wielu przysympatycznych i ciepłych ludzi z najróżniejszych krańców świata, że tak naprawdę nie wiem, kiedy to 5 lat przeleciało i mam nadzieję, że kolejne 50 to będzie trwało. Jest coś, co warto dodać. Moja siostra mieszka w Polsce od wielu lat, ale jak przyjeżdża mnie odwiedzać, to tak planuje swoje przyjazdy, żeby zawsze czwartek był w tych dniach i żeby mogła przyjść tutaj ze mną i naładować swoje baterie.
Moje początki w miasta barem wiążą się z powołaniem Piotra, który prowadzi te spotkania. Ja Piotra znam kilka ładnych lat i kilka ładnych lat mnie namawiał na te spotkania. Aż w końcu w tym roku udało mi się mnie namówić. Ale nie wiedziałam, jak te spotkania do końca wyglądają. Wiedziałam, że odbywają się w języku angielskim. Troszeczkę się krępowałam, jak tutaj pierwszy raz przyszłam, bo przyszłam sama. Nawiązałam znajomości. Pamiętał, że pierwszą osobą, którą poznałam w mieście barze, był Kamil. Też jej pokazał, na czym polegają te spotkania. I bardzo miło pamiętam ten swój pierwszy wieczór, w którym naprawdę te znajomości zachowane są do dzisiaj.
So the reason for me coming to Miasto was because, you know, it's still be very new to Poznań, to Poland in general. You know, I needed a way to make more friends. I started out taking Polish language courses and I knew some people from there, but I needed to find a way to broaden my circle of friends while living here. So when I learned about the meetings here, that's when I, you know, came across many different people every week at that. So for me, it was just a way to connect with more people while living abroad, to, you know, connect myself with many other people. So what I like most about the meetings is the different people that you come across basically every week. And it's someone new every week from different countries, different, you know, nationalities and everything, and just you see the personalities of each person and just how different it is, how different every person it is. You have a way to connect differently with each person that you come across while you're here getting to know people in Miasto, seeing the different personalities every week, and just, you know, seeing how you can vibe with that one person to see like how your friendship can grow and all these different types of good things.
I found out about Miasto meeting when I arrived in Poznan. I didn't know anyone at that time, and I was doing a little research online, and I found out on Facebook that they have meetings for expats every Thursday. And ever since, I kept coming every week. One thing I like about Miasto meetings is that every week there is a different quiz about countries, about cultures, and everything else. Another reason why I came here is because you get to meet friends on a weekly basis, have a drink, have a chat, especially when you came from abroad. And believe me, it's a lot better than staying at home, watching Netflix, or just being bored. Here, you're gonna have a lot of fun. You're gonna get to know a lot of people. You're gonna hear great stories. I'm not gonna tell you them. You came, find out yourself. I promise you that you will love it. In the state of Florida, we do not have all the seasons, but here, believe me, that if it's winter, you get warmed up here. Could be hotter than in the state of Florida. Every week, you get to know different people, newcomers to Poznan, new expats, and you're gonna be able to network, probably meet a business partner or another type of partner. But I promise you, if you come here, and you will love it because I love it.
Na pewno można tutaj przyjść jeden z nikogo, a wychodzi się znając pół miasta baru. Zawsze można się bajkę pobawić, czegoś się nauczyć, bo te quizy też wnoszą sporo, jeśli chodzi o wiedzę. No i atmosfera. Panuje tutaj wyjątkowa atmosfera i to trzeba zobaczyć i poczuć tam, po prostu nie da się opisać.
I remember back in 2016, I decided to organize international meetings, and I was thinking, what else could I add to the usual meetings? Because I used to live in the UK, I thought, pub quiz could be a good idea. So I decided to have 60 questions, multiple choice questions, and have those quiz nights about different topics, about different nations like the US, England, Spain, whatever, or about topics like film, music, sports, food, or even ecology. And thanks to that, people can come, be in a team, be together. If you come alone, come on your own here, I'll always find you a teammate, I'll always find you a group that you can participate with, and therefore you can learn something and also socialize with others. Another aspect is that you can learn a lot of things during the quiz bits. So you can learn about general knowledge, you can learn about film, you can learn about different nations. We've had quiz nights about the US, Italy, Japan, Korea. Questions could be quite difficult, but at the same time, we learned a lot of things.
Who knows the answer to this one?
Which African country has the largest population?
So now I'm connecting my laptop to the projector, and around 9:30 we're gonna start the quiz and present the questions over here. So everyone in the room can see the questions and can participate in the quiz. 16 questions as usual, and these are the answer sheets. So each team gets the answer sheet like this, and they put the answers down on those answer sheets. That's how it works.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm almost ready. So I'm gonna give the answer sheets to teams, and we're gonna start in 5 minutes.
People always could see the quiz in a different way. So maybe they would like to have more questions, or they would like to have other subjects, but I always try to kind of talk to people and ask, what they want, whether they want a quiz about a country, or maybe something like general knowledge where everyone can say something, can answer some questions.
As usual, we have 16 questions, ABC answers, open questions or true and false questions. The prizes are the usual: popcorn, nachos, and the most important, shots.
So people ask me if I don't miss taking part in the quiz nights as a contestant, and actually once I hadn't seen the questions before the quiz, so I decided to take part in it, and I kind of knew which people are the best, so I decided to be with them in a team, and thanks to them I won. So only once I took part in the quiz night and I won, and I think people looked at me like, it must be fake, it must be rigged. But no, eventually, no, it wasn't rigged at all. I didn't know any of the questions, and my team won. So I think I cannot repeat that anymore, because that would be weird if I won again. So let's not do that maybe.
Spotkania czwartkowe są interesujące przede wszystkim dlatego, ponieważ motywują nas, czy przynajmniej mnie motywują do tego, żeby zgłębiać swoją wiedzę na różne tematy. Dzięki quizom i dzięki naszym spotkaniom dowiedziałam się wiele na temat różnych krajów. Może jest to śmieszne, może nie, ale zawsze kiedy tutaj jadę, sprawdzam sobie w Wikipedii podstawowe informacje na temat danego kraju. Na przykład kiedy był quiz o Japonii, czy o Włoszech, czy o Brazylii, na co dzień jakby nie mamy takiej wiedzy, nie przyswajamy takiej wiedzy. Natomiast quiz motywuje nas do tego, żeby zajrzeć do swojego telefonu i sprawdzić, kto jest premierem Japonii na przykład, czy z jakimi krajami dany kraj sąsiaduje. Także zawsze można się dowiedzieć czegoś bardzo może nietypowego. Moje ulubione pytanie, znaczy zawsze liczyłam, żeby takie pytanie było, a propos populacji, ponieważ bardzo lubię liczby i cyfry. Prawda? Także zawsze przyswajam sobie tą wiedzę. No gorzej, jeżeli chodzi o jakieś gwiazdy sportu, gwiazdy kina. Na co dzień nie mamy okazji, żeby poznawać takie rzeczy, a tutaj to po prostu zwykłe nasze spotkanie czwartkowe motywuje nas do tego, żebyśmy zagłębili się w różne tematy.
The largest desert in the Middle East is Arabian Desert, Sahara Desert, or Sea Syrian Desert.
Emocje podczas quizu są różne. Niektórzy są bardzo skupieni i bardzo chcą wygrać, to jest prawda, żeby zdobyć główną nagrodę. Inni może są mniej skupieni, bardziej rozmawiają z innymi ludźmi, natomiast wszyscy na pewno bardzo dobrze się bawią, prawda? Wyczuwalna jest taka nutka rywalizacji. I co najlepsze, to jest zawsze najśmieszniejsze, jeżeli są dwie drużyny koło siebie. No i tak często się zdarzało, prawda, ponieważ tam jest taki bardzo długi stolik i Piotr Schulz nigdy nie pozwalał nam być w jednym teamie. Wszystkim, dajmy na to 10 osobom. Także dostawaliśmy po 2 albo po 3 kartki i mimo tego, że siedzieliśmy bardzo blisko siebie, to nie mogliśmy być razem. No i jak to wyglądało? Jeżeli team się naradzał, i jedna osoba odgradzała tę kartkę, żeby ta druga strona jej nie widziała, prawda? No bo to nie była walka o punkty. Też w zależności od tego, jaki był quiz, prawda? Zawsze najlepiej podczas quizu mieć jakiegoś lokalsa z danego kraju, czyli na przykład amerykański quiz, każdy walczy o to, żeby Amerykanin był w jego drużynie. I między innymi dzięki temu zwyciężyłam, znaczy mój team zwyciężył quiz amerykański, ponieważ w naszej drużynie był Peter, który wiedział dosłownie wszystko. Wiedział wszystko. Także my za bardzo nie musieliśmy nawet za bardzo się starać. Peter wiedział wszystko, no i wygraliśmy. Tak samo jest podczas innych quizów, prawda? Czy to brazylijski quiz, czy to japoński quiz. Na początku zawsze jest polowanie na lokalsa i krzyczę hey, join our team. To jest zawsze bardzo fajne. Jeżeli chodzi o wyniki quizu, sprawdzanie dobrych odpowiedzi, zawsze towarzyszą temu niesamowite emocje. Można usłyszeć tutaj różne krzyki, podniecenia, rozczarowania. Także naprawdę, jeżeli ktoś przechodzi obok miasto bar, czasami może się zdziwić, ponieważ emocje są od jest, aż po oh no. Ludzie naprawdę bardzo przeżywają. I de facto, jeżeli team widzi bardzo często, że nie ma zbyt wielu dobrych odpowiedzi, no to później generalnie moja obserwacja jest taka, że już tak nie chce im się sprawdzać, prawda? No to już tam trochę sprawdzają, trochę nie sprawdzają, już są zajęci rozmową, już idą do baru po drinka. Natomiast team, który ma punkt za punktem, cały czas utrzymuje się w takiej ekscytacji, prawda? No i na końcu ogłoszenie wyników, które też jest bardzo emocjonujące. I walki, prawda? Która drużyna jest trzecia? Czy są drużyny ex aequo?
If there is a tiebreaker and the same number of points, I will ask a member of one of those teams to come forward and answer a question, one person, okay?
So now we are checking the scores with Goha. Goha is my greatest assistant after Jason.
Hello.
After Jason, I said after.
Fair enough. I got replaced.
Yeah, so the winner is with 16 points. That's a very good score. And then we have some tiebreakers. And what's nice that tonight we do have 14 points, yes. And we do have some vouchers to a bowling alley tonight.
Ty masz po 11 punktów.
Dobra, dziękuję, thank you.
Are you nervous?
No. I'm not. I would love to be nervous.
We got Alexander and Natalia. Can we have a round of applause? Yes. Our two main So this is the fight for the first place and the second place. So who gets the closest number will get the first place.
Jeżeli drużyny zajmują miejsca ex aequo, przedstawiciele tych drużyn wychodzą na środek i jeszcze dodatkowo muszą odpowiedzieć na jakieś pytanie, co również jest emocjonujące. Zazwyczaj Piotr Schulz wybiera pytania, jeżeli chodzi o daty, tak? Czyli na przykład w którym roku urodził się ktoś, albo jaka jest mniej więcej populacja. Czyli tak naprawdę z gabula, tak? Ale mimo wszystko ludzie są bardzo podekscytowani. Ja również, ja muszę powiedzieć, że strasznie zawsze przeżywam. Szczególnie, że zazwyczaj jestem bardzo pewna swoich odpowiedzi, które niekoniecznie są dobre. No to ludzie w teamie również się, znaczy nie mówię, że kłócą, ale wymieniają swoje poglądy. And this is right, this is correct, no, this answer is wrong, this answer is good. No i kiedy dochodzi do sprawdzenia, to bardzo często reakcja jest taka: a nie mówiłem, to była dobra odpowiedź, miałem rację. Nawet spędzanie tych paru godzin tutaj ze znajomymi i powrót do domu o 22, 23 po quizie, no jest wart tego, żeby się ruszyć z kanapy.
Quizy są na wiele tematów. Ogólnie są, co tydzień jest inny temat, no bo to się odbywa regularnie co czwartek po prostu. Zawsze jest 16 pytań i tematy są różne. Na przykład są quizy takie na temat danego kraju, na przykład quiz hiszpański. Nawet był taki dość specyficzny niedawno, quiz był tajski, gdzie tam po prostu nie wiedziało się nic, albo prawie nic tak naprawdę. A tak poza tym to są różne quizy, jak ten właśnie hiszpański, włoski, francuski nieraz. Włoski ostatni quiz dość sporą publikę zgromadził, nawet większą niż zwykle zauważyłem, więc cieszy się to wzięcie, można powiedzieć.
No dzieje się bardzo dużo na spotkaniach. Przede wszystkim jest quiz, który wspiera integrację osób, które po raz pierwszy przychodzą, pojawiają się i tym bardziej zachęca do wzajemnych rozmów i kontaktów. Quizy, fantastyczna sprawa. Zawsze są emocje, zawsze jest rywalizacja, oczywiście bardzo zdrowa. Czy szansa wygrania jest duża? Jeżeli się pouczy człowiek to ma szansę. To ma szansę, to tak harta. Tak, są duże szanse. Warto przemyśleć, kogo się ma w teamie.
The winners, that will make it easier for tonight. With 16 points out of 17, that's a really good score. Erasmusians. Wow, that's amazing, guys. Congratulations.
It's great tonight. Good times. It's not over. People are still socializing. The quiz is over. People are still here socializing. Let's carry on. And the prizes. I need to give the people the prize. Popcorn. You just pose to the camera for a moment. You can say like this. Na zdrowie. Okay, guys. Cheers for you. Thank you to my mate. Congratulations. Na zdrowie.
Okazuje się, że obcokrajowiec wpada do Poznania zupełnie przypadkiem na wakacje, tak sobie zaplanował, a trafia do nas w czwartek, zakupuje się w Polsce, a przede wszystkim w Poznaniu i tego przykładem jest właśnie Mauro. Mauro tak nas wszystkich pokochał, że co roku wpada na dłużej, przynajmniej 3 tygodnie i organizuje niesamowite spotkania o nazwie Carbonara Party, gdzie od godziny chyba 20 do oporu, i wszyscy nie mamy dość, przygotowuje na bieżąco carbonarę. Carbonara Party to jest jeden z wielu przykładów, gdzie spotkania czwartkowe nie kończą się zaraz po tym, jak ogłosimy wyniki quizu, tylko zbudowały międzynarodową grupę przyjaciół. I trwa to po prostu wiele lat.
future of these meetings will go on for a long, long time, I think, because Piotr is so involved, he's so active. What I really like about Piotr, he's trying to find new ideas or new ideas for meetings. It's not just one once a week.
Kiedy przestanę tutaj przychodzić? Jej, nie pytaj mnie o takie rzeczy. Nie wiem, może jak będę miała 80 lat. Dopóki zdrowie mi pozwoli i ludzie nadal będą chcieli ze mną rozmawiać i akceptować moją bardzo czasami ekscentryczną osobę. Aha, i tak będą chcieli słuchać, jak strasznie śpiewam. Ale myślę, że nie przestanę tutaj przychodzić.
Po pierwsze wierzę w przyszłość spotkań, po drugie myślę, że jest taka baza ludzi, i to nie tylko z Poznania, ale z całego świata, która sobie nie wyobraża tutaj przyjechać i nie wpaść do miasta bar na quiz.
Olimpia.
Olimpia!
Czekajcie.
Hi, I'm Louis.
No, just stop.
I can hear it's super loud here. The quiz hasn't started yet, but it's now ready.
Jezu, ale to jest dziwne, super, jak odchodzisz.
To jest dziwne jednak, co? No.
Another country. Tego nie robię w ogóle.
Jeszcze raz. Nie przestanę tutaj przychodzić.
Are you ready recording? Sure.
I know your story.
Nie będzie słychać, nie w ogóle słychać.
Asked me once what this Bliźniowo was in English, and I was like,
The name you said? The word that she asked you to translate?
Bliźniowo.
What?
The Bliźniowo. As in
Zbliżeniowa, contactless.
Yeah, contactless. Everyone knows me, I'm a really sarcastic person.
I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.